Disclaimer from Inclu Radio. The views and opinions expressed in this live report are those of the presenter and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of this show. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the One Inclusion Live Weekend Edition. Today is Saturday, June 20, 2020. I am Carlos Kanahashi, and this is a production of Ka-Inclusion Network, or formerly called as HNI Philippines, led by our president and founder, Roylan Marlang. This afternoon, I would like to report to you guys about the ABS-CBN franchise renewal controversy. But before we go to this, we have some sad news for today. Mr. Florentino Bubut S. Caico III, the Vice Chairman of Arellano University, and Leonardo Mercadal, the grandfather of my fellow classmates, Angelica Nicole and Leonardo Jose Baltazar of Binid, Manila. The the cause of their deaths. Wait, please. For the causes of death are for Leonardo Mercadal, diabetes, and as you may know, Florentino Woodwood Kaiko, the third, is one of the vice chairman of Arellano University, Manila, and a board member. As a result of these deaths, all of you guys, those who are watching today, please join us now for a 1 minute of silence. Okay. May this eternal rest grant unto them, O Lord, and let their perpetual light shine upon them. May their souls rest in peace, and may they also enter into heaven, O Lord. Okay? Okay. And this afternoon, we'll discuss about the ABS-CBN shutdown issue last May 5, 2020, this year. At the time when Metro Manila was placed under the enhanced community quarantine. Okay, what is this? The ABS-CBN franchise renewal controversy is an ongoing exercise of the Philippine Congress regarding the renewal of the congressional franchise that allowed ABS-CBN, one of the country's largest TV network, to broadcast for 50 years only. So how is this started, ladies and gentlemen? In 2014 to 2015, ABS-CBN requested the 16th Congress to tackle the extension of its franchise early, despite the fact that its renewal was not due until 6 years later in 2020. Media sources in the legislature indicated that the network's 2016 initiative was the result of having been particularly singled out by supporters of President-elect Rodrigo Duterte because of the perception that they consistently showed him in a negative light. According to the Philippine Daily Inquirer, they reported that a member of the House Legislative Franchise Committee said ABS-CBN did not want to risk going through the renewal under unfriendly administration. In The Inquirer source also said that the initiative lacked support from former President Noynoy Aquino's allies in the House because they felt that ABS-CBN's criticisms against Aquino were too personal and offensive and went to the point of nitpicking. ABS-CBN had eventually had to withdraw these franchise renewal initiatives due to time constraints. So, what are the causes? The ad controversies during the 2016 presidential elections. Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has attributed his objection to the franchise renewal of ABS-CBN to an election ad controversy during the election campaign leading up to the 2016 presidential election. He said that the network refused to air his 2016 presidential campaign ads and favored the negative political ads paid by Antonio Trillanes, critical of his remarks on the campaign trail. But this one has bad words in it. According to Carlo Katigbak, the president and CEO of ABS-CBN, he apologized President Duterte for not airing his political advertisement during his 2016 post. Duterte accepted the apology, but the franchise renewal will be decided by the Congress. He decided the management also offered to return the money spent for the advertisements, and this money can be donated to charity. Meanwhile, COMELEC spokesperson James Jimenez defended the controversial ad as being under the election law under a partisan political activity. So, throughout the term, President Duterte reiterated that he will oppose the franchise renewal of ABS-CBN. Opposition lawmakers as well as labor groups objected to Duterte's stand on ABS-CBN as a franchise non-renewal will compromise the employees of the network, stating that the blocking of the franchise renewal had no merit. Opposition groups have stated their opinions that the non-renewal of the franchise violates press freedom. So after the network's apology, he will not interfere with the franchise renewal in the Congress, but he did not say whether it will veto the bill or not. In November 2016, Nueva Ecija Representative Micaela Violago passed House Bill 4349 on the 17th Congress to renew the network's franchise. They adjourned same day with the bill never getting out of committee. During the 18th Congress, 12 House representatives and 2 senators filed their own versions for a new franchise of the network. According to House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano, he made assurances that the Congress will tackle the franchise with fairness. So the bills were filed by Michaela Violago, Jericho Nograles, Baby Arenas, Joy Tambunting, Sol Aragones, Ralph Recto, Vilma Santos, Aurelio Gonzalez, Johnny Pimentel, Salvador Lechon, Rufus Rodriguez, Josephine Ramirez Sato, Carlos Zarate, Ferdinand Gaite, Euphemia Culamak, Franz Castro, Sarah Jane Alago, Mark Go, and Senators Lauren Legarda and Bong Revilla. On January 6, 2020, Albay Representative Edsel Lagman filed House Minority Resolution 639 urging the House Committee on Legislative Franchises for its immediate action on the several bills lodged to the committee. At least 91 other representatives signed the resolution. On February 4, 2020, Congress finally made its decision to tackle the franchise renewal. During a Senate hearing, Grace Poe stated that they were tackled to comply ABS-CBN with the terms and conditions of its franchise. They concluded that there was no breach of laws or franchise terms. The Bureau of Internal Revenue stated that ABS-CBN fully paid with the tax requirements of the government. Sir Cabantac Jr., the head of the BIR large taxpayers, had stated that ABS-CBN paid 14.2 billion from the past 3 years. Last year, ABS-CBN also settled 152.44 million tax payments with BIR. Dole cleared the media giant for its compliance with the labor standards, occupational safety and health, and the security of their tenure. Former ABS-CBN Corporate Services head Mark Nepomuceno said that they also have contributed to SSS, PhilHealth, HDMF, or Pag-ibig. He also stated that ABS-CBN was no longer practicing annual contract scheme, as well as to giving benefits to independent contributors during per contract negotiation. Telecommunications Commissioner Gamail Asis Cordoba stated that franchise laws cover commercial purposes including their pay-per-view service on TV Plus, which is called KBO. Section 1 of Republic Act 7908, which allows ABS-CBN Convergence Broadcast Operations, says that it is hereby granted a franchise to construct, operate, and maintain for commercial purposes. Even though ABS-CBN introduced the service without the NTC guidelines yet, the fine for such violation is 200 pesos. Senate President Recto stated that the NTC could impose a fine on ABS-CBN instead of shutting it down. SEC Commissioner Epheiro Amato clarified from a legal interpretation in 1999 saying that the Philippine depository receipts were not equivalent to the certificates of ownership which may have evolved in recent years. Senator Poe pointed out that companies should be notified of any changes in the legal interpretation of the investment instrument, as all media companies have to be Filipino-owned, 100%. Issuing EDRs is a common practice, including Rappler and GMA. The SEC has not yet conducted a review whether there are violations in ABS-CBN's PDRs, with Amatong saying he would not rather not make a categorical statement at this time, but it was given a pending case. The Philippine Solicitor General, Jose Calida, filed a co-warrant of petition on February 10, 2020 before the Supreme Court of the Philippines seeking to disfranchise ABS-CBN and its subsidiary, ABS-CBN Convergence, over the alleged breaches of its franchise, including its pay-per-view service, KBO, and its constitutional restriction on foreign ownership of mass media. The network responded to disprove the allegations leveled against it. Within the same month, various congressmen urged the NTC, National Telecommunications Commission, to grant a provisional authority to ABS-CBN to continue the operations after the lapse of its current franchise until Congress has made a decision on its franchise application. Having consulted with the DOJ, the NEC affirmed in March 2020 that it would likely issue a provisional authority to ABS-CBN and let ABS-CBN continue operations based on equity. However, the FICTAP, or the Federation of International Cable TV and Telecommunications Association of the Philippines, questioned the, the provisional authority, stating it would be unconstitutional. Okay. So, before ABS-CBN went off the air, they held rallies and demonstrations in front of the ABS-CBN headquarters in Sergeant Esguerra, Quezon City. Let's watch um, the rally, pictures of the footages of the rally of ABS-CBN, guys.
Ay araw ng EDSA 1. Ito ang araw na kung saan pinatalsik natin ang isang remen. Huwag na tayong pumayag na dumating pa ang dilubyo. Marami na tayong dilubyong hinaharap ngayon. Pero ang dilubyong gagawin ng pagsasara ng ABS-CBN at ang inaasahan pa natin susunod pa, hindi lamang ang ABS-CBN, kung hindi ang iba pang mga network at mga telekomunikasyon ay maaaring ipasara. Kaya mga kasama, ang Kilusang Mayuno ay patuloy na susuporta upang mapanatili ang isang istasyon na kung saan nakita natin kung paano naglingkod sa mamamayan. At siyempre ba, ang pananatili ng hustisya na kung saan yan yung kailangan natin dahil ang pagsasara ng isang metro ay isang anyo ng represyon, supresyon, lalong-lalo na sa ating mamamayan. Kaya mga kasama, ang Kilusang Mayuno ay taas na noong susuporta at tutulong upang sa mga darating na araw lahat ng pagtitipon ng ABS-CBN. Ang prangkisa ng aming kumpanya. Ako po ay 23 taon nang nagtatrabaho sa kumpanya. At isa lang po ako sa nag-iisang tipo na maaaring mawalan ng trabaho. Hinihiling po namin ang prangkisa na makamanggagawa, na kumikilala sa karapatan ng manggagawa. Kasulong din po kami sa pagtulong na malaya po mamaya dito sa ating bayan. Salamat po.
Okay. They held rallies and demonstrations. And then,
Hindi namin kayo tatali.
okay. Okay. On May 5, 2020, the day that is happening in the history of the world, and not only here in the Philippines. On May 5, 2020, the National Telecommunications Commission, NTC, issued a cease and desist order to immediately close ABS-CBN, including DZMM, MOR, and Sports in Action, following the expiration of its broadcast franchise the day before. ABS-CBN went off the air at 7:52 p.m. after TV Patrol. The executives, Carlo Katigbak and Mark Lopez, aired statements appealing the NTC's cease and desist order. We now show you guys some videos in connection to this.
Hindi namin kayo tatalikuran, kabayan. Mga kapamilya kami. Tayo ang ABS-CBN. In the service of the Filipino, saan man sila naroon sa buong mundo. TV3 Zamboanga, TV4 Iligan, TV2 Balay-Balay Bukidnon, TV4 Davao, TV3 General Santos, TV5 Cotabato, TV11 Butuan. This is ABS-CBN Corporation Channel 2. In the service of the Filipino. Now signing off. Yes. Wala na GBI. Good luck.
Bye-bye, ABS.
This is ABS-CBN Corporation Channel 2 in the service of the Filipino. Now signing off.
Wow.
Now signing off.
No more.
MOD authorized this station to operate until December 31, 2020. ABS-CBN Channel 2 transmitter is located at ABS-CBN Broadcast Center, Sergeant Esguerra Avenue, Diliman, Quezon City. The operations of ABS-CBN Channel 2 are supervised by electronics and communication engineers duly licensed by the Professional Regulation Commission. Engineer Bernardo M. Acosta, EEC number 864, and carried out by the following personnel duly licensed by the Professional Regulation Commission and National Telecommunications Commission. Engineer Jose Rizalde and Humipi, PECE number 749. Engineer Melvin C. Acosta, PECE number 407. Michael D. De La Cruz, 98-1 PNCR 21108. Orlando M. Laganda, 93-1 PNCR-6016. Engineer Ronnie B. Sagan, EC number 46355. Engineer Jason Alma, EC number 46. Now signing off.
No more.
Okay.
Maraming salamat po sa maraming taon na kami po ay inyong pinatuloy sa inyong mga tahanan. Maraming salamat po sa maraming taon na ating pinagsamahan. Hanggang sa muli, kapamilya. This is ABS-CBN Corporation Channel 2, a commercial television station transmitting on a 346.2 kilowatt effective radiated power with permit number BSD-0121-2018 MOD, authorizing this station to operate until December 31, 2020. ABS-CBN Channel 2 transmitter is located at ABS-CBN Broadcast Center, Sergeant Esguerra Avenue, Diliman, Quezon City. The operations of ABS-CBN Channel 2 are supervised by electronics and communication engineers duly licensed by the Professional Regulation Commission. This is ABS-CBN Corporation Channel 2 in the service of the Filipino. Now signing off.
What a darkest day that happened in the history of the Philippines. Last May 5. This is, guys, not a repeat of what happened last 1972.
This is ABS-CBN Corporation Channel 2, a commercial television station.
How are the people reacting about this? How? Once they hear the word now signing off.
Ang tibay ng katawan ang pinakamainam na depensa. Ang Bear Brand kakampi nyo sa laban na to. Kaya ang Bear Brand Swap Pack, mas abot kaya na. 10 pesos na lang. Diba?
Ayaw, last na siya. Oh. Sign off na sila.
Wait!
Balik ka na ibig sabihin.
Oh!
Ganun.
No, bye-bye!
Oy, TikTok na to. Ilang kasi mama, no? Yan, mama, wala ibig.
After this, when ABS-CBN sign off Fade to Black, Jeff Canoy record after almost just seconds after ABS-CBN went off the air, it faded to black. Look at this. They clapped in front of the TV screen. The employees of ABS-CBN clap after when they hear the word, "This is ABS-CBN Corporation Channel 2. In the service of the Filipino. Now signing off." And all the TV screens locking into ABS-CBN faded to black as ABS-CBN left the air. Here goes the free. Let's watch yung kay Carlo Katigba. I will just gonna want to read it verbatim. Yung pahayag. Ito yung statement, guys, ng ABS-CBN issue. Mga kapamilya, ako po ay humaharap sa inyo para sa ating ABS-CBN family. Sa simulan pa lang po ng epidemya ng COVID-19, ang ating pong news team ay araw-araw at oras-oras na nalalagay sa peligro ang buhay para lang maihatid sa atin ang mahalagang impormasyon at balita para sa kaligtasan nating lahat. Marami po sa inyong mga kapamilya ay pumasok sa opisina para hindi matigil ang broadcast at serbisyo ng ABS-CBN. Sa umpisa pa lang ng lockdown at marami ang mga Pilipino ang maaaring magutom dahil mawawala ng hanapbuhay. Inumpisahan natin agad ang pantawid ng pag-ibig sa ating pagtutulungan. Nakapaghatid tayo ng pagkain at ayuda sa lampas ng 2 milyong nating kapamilya. Sa lahat po ng nagdaang taon at sa lahat ng nagdaang kalamidad at trahedya, ganito na po ang lagi nating ginagawa. Ang ating ABS-CBN ay nanguna sa paglikom ng mga donasyon para makatulong sa pag-ahon ng mga biktima. Bukod sa serbisyong publiko, ang ating ABS-CBN ay nakapagbigay din po ng pag-asa at inspirasyon sa pamamagitan ng mga palabas tulad halimbawa ng inyong paboritong ang probinsya. Ang makapaglingkod sa inyo ang aming misyon at ang aming kaligayahan. Ngayon po ay dumating na ng araw na kami naman ay dumudulong at nanawagan sa inyo. Hindi po binigay ng National Telecommunications Commission ang lisensya para sa patuloy na palilingkod ng ABS-CBN. Kaya mawawala na po sa ere ang ating ABS-CBN. Ginagawa po namin ang lahat ng requirement para sa renewal at wala rin po kaming nilabag na batas. Pati po ang Kongreso. So, naayon sa batas ay may kapangyarihan na mag-utos sa NTC na magbigay ng provisional authority sa TV at radio stations. Ang nagsabi po na bigyan na muna ang ABS-CBN ng provisional authority. Marahil, naintindihan ng ating mambabatas na mahalaga ang ating serbisyo, lalong-lalo na sa panahon ito. Mga kapamilya, kung naging mahalaga sa inyo ang ating ABS-CBN, hinihingi po namin na tayo ay patuloy na magtutulungan para mapanatili ang serbisyo na naidudulot ng ating istasyon. Alang-alang po sa mahigit 11,000 nagtatrabaho sa ABS-CBN at sa kanilang mga pamilya na maapektuhan na ang kabuhayan at maaaring mawala ng trabaho. Alang-alang po sa milyong Pilipino na kailangan ang serbisyo ng ABS-CBN, lalong-lalo na sa panahon may pinakamatinding krisis sa Pilipinas at sa buong mundo. Lalo na ngayon sa pinakamalalang panahon ng sakit at gutom. Ipadama, isaad at ipadinig po natin ang ating naramdaman sa pagsasara ng ating ABS-CBN. Sa oras na ito, kami naman po ang humingi ng inyong pagdamay. Maraming salamat po, mga kapamilya. Ito guys, yung cease and desist order. And kung may PDF, ipakita ko sa iyo yung PDF. Ipakita ko sa iyo. Ito guys, yung PDF ng NTC kaugnayang sa pagsara ng ABS-CBN. Ito guys. I will read. Republic of the Philippines, National Telecommunications Commission, Complainant versus ABS-CBN Corporation, Respondent. Administrative Case Order 2020-008. Order. Republic Act 7966, an act granting the ABS-CBN Broadcasting Corporation a franchise to instruct, install, operate, and maintain television and radio broadcasting stations in the Philippines and other purposes, was enacted on March 30, 1995, with a term of 25 years from its effectivity. Section 50 of RA 7966 provides that the law shall be effective with 15 days from its date of publication. RA 7966 was really published on April 19, 1995 and became effective 15 days on May 4, 1995 and therefore expired on May 4, 2020. Act number 3846, an act providing for the regulation of public and radio communications in the Philippines and for other purpose of the Radio Control Law, as amended, provides that Section 1, no person, firm, company, association, or corporation shall construct, install, establish, or operate a radio transmitting station or a radio receiving station used for commercial purposes or a radio broadcasting station without having first obtained a franchise thereof from the Congress of the Philippines. Upon the expiration of RA 7966, ABS-CBN Corporation no longer as a valid and subsisting congressional franchise. In view thereof, upon receipt of this order, ABS-CBN Corporation is directed to immediately cease and desist from operating the following radio stations. For the AM stations, the Radyo Patrol Network, MOR, and ABS-CBN Channel 2. And analog and digital stations. ABS-CBN Corporation is also hereby directed to show cause in writing within 10 days from receipt of this order, while the above-mentioned frequencies assigned to it shall not be recalled for the lack of necessary congressional franchise as required by law. Failure to file an answer within the period herein granted shall be considered respondent's waiver of its right to be heard, and the Commission shall render such judgment as the law and evidence may warrant. The respective NTC regional offices in charge of the enumerated radio and television stations are directed to implement this order. So ordered, May 5, 2020, Quezon City, Philippines. Signed by Gamael Asis Cordoba, Commissioner, Deputy Commissioners Edgardo V. Cabarrios and Delilah F. Deles. The copies were being issued to Mr. Carlo Katigbak, President of ABS-CBN, and all NTC regional offices throughout the country. Okay. After the shutdown, TV Patrol returned on ANC, and DZMM Teleradyo became Teleradyo. And they have filed some House Resolution number 853 on May 11, 2020 by Paulo Duterte, Eric Goyap, and Abraham Tolentino. On June 1, 2020, Asian Novela Channel and Jeepney TV replaced ABS-CBN and SNA on TV+. On June 4, ABS-CBN announced on TV Patrol that Kapamilya Channel will launch on June 13, led to the resumption on the production of ABS-CBN's drama and live entertainment shows. And the ones who are not returning to air is Banana Sunday and Make It With You. On July 30, the Supreme Court will tackle the TRO by ABS-CBN. And this led to the questionings led by the Senate and the House of Representatives. The NTC on Twitter, the hashtag no to ABS-CBN shutdown, toppled the local and worldwide Twitter trending list. Within a day, some of the schools that offered mass communication released statements supporting ABS-CBN's franchise renewal. UP Españas College of Development Communication, Ateneo de Manila University, University of San Tomas, St. Scholastica's College, De La Salle University, Manila, and the College of Mass Communication of the University of the Philippines, Diliman. The network shutdown placed the job security of 11,000 ABS-CBN employees. But this had during the COVID-19 pandemic, the government may give a 2-month aid to the benefits of ABS-CBN. What does this mean, ladies and gentlemen? This means that these employees want compensation. Right? GMA Network shares increased by 24%. But President Duterte has denied involvement with the network shutdown. 24 Oras interviewed last May 5, picked up President Espenita Tamano. ABS-CBN violated their franchise broadcast by airing 6 channels. It should only broadcast in one channel. PCTA President Ronaldo Manlapig argued that there is no need to file a separate case for each channel as ABS-CBN is using their digital transmission. ABS-CBN shutdown received international attention such as on New York Times, The Washington Post, Variety, BBC, CBS Time, Al Jazeera, The Guardian, Associated Press, ABC News, NHK, KBS, Financial Times, The Straits Times, Channel News Asia, and CNN published stories on ABS-CBN's shutdown. The discontinuance of ABS-CBN rate the difficulties during Ambo, especially in Aurora, Quezon, and Sorsogon. We're working to get that information because ABS-CBN was the only station that they can reach them, and their internet was hard to get it in their area. Kapamilya Channel was launched last June 13, 2020 on PCTA, cable, and satellite providers throughout the country. How is this started? On March 30, 1995, RA 7966 grants ABS-CBN franchise until 2020. On September 11, 2014, House Bill 4987 was lapsed. May 5, 2016, the ABS-CBN aired a political ad criticizing Duterte. The talent eater Cayetano files a TRO against the anti-Duterte ad on May 6, 2016. On November 10, 2016, House Bill 4349 was filed by Micaela Villago. On March 3, 2017, Duterte's Inquirer will hit and in ABS-CBN trash, and also Rappler, source of fake news. On April 2017, Duterte accuses ABS-CBN of swindling estafa over his unaired political ads. The series of House bills were filed by Carlo Nograles and Jericho Nograles, Rosemary Arenas, Joy Tambunting, Sol Aragones, Rob Recto, Vilma Santos, and Aurelio Gonzalez, Johnny Pimentel, and Representative Salvador Leachon. On December 3, 2019, Duterte is still angry to see it that ABS-CBN is out. Duterte says ABS-CBN should better just sell the network. And in 2020, a lot of things happened just leading to the ABS-CBN closure. Like they held a Black Friday protest, and the Solicitor General Kalida files a co-warranto petition to the Supreme Court against ABS-CBN for their unlawful exercise of legislative franchise. And there are a lot of things are filed again. On January 30, Baguio City, Representative Marco filed House Bill 6138. And not in relevance to the ABS-CBN shutdown, on January 30, 2020, the Philippines confirmed the first case of the novel coronavirus. And later, it was declared as an international public health emergency for public health concern by the WHO. On February 18, Kalida, the Solicitor General, issued a gag order by the Supreme Court against ABS-CBN. Duterte already accepted the apology of Katigbak, but ABS-CBN want to donate the 2.9 million to charity. Okay? But they have Gadon filed with a provision to stop ABS-CBN's NTC Provisional Authority. On March 11, NTC Commissioner Cordova says that it will allow ABS-CBN to continue operations pending franchise renewal. And it does state Congress goes to recess and bills were not passed. The WHO declared COVID-19 as a pandemic. And later, on March 13, ABS-CBN management announced the suspension of their tapings of their teleseries and the admission of studio audiences for their entertainment shows effective March 15 in compliance with the Philippine government order on the implementation of a community quarantine and to prohibit mass gatherings to prevent the spread of COVID-19. It was done in order to ensure the health and the safety of their employees, particularly the artists, production crew, their families, and the viewing public. While this measure is in place, ABS-CBN continue to entertain the audiences by bringing back well-loved shows that shows the values of upliftment, inspiration, and hope, aside from giving updates and news about the COVID-19. On March 15, Metro Manila was placed under the enhanced community quarantine. And on March 22, ABS-CBN broadcast the Pantawid ng Pag-ibig at Home Together concert, a fundraising activity of ABS-CBN. Okay? On May, just days before ABS-CBN was shut down, Cayetanos' house has no intention to order the network closure. On May 3 is the celebration of the World Press Freedom Day. Kalida tells NTC officials they may face grave charges against if they grant the provisional authority. On May 4, ABS-CBN's franchise expires and Malacanang says it will not interfere and we will let NTC decide. On May 9, NTC issued a cease and desist order. ABS-CBN left the air. What are the causes? ABS-CBN did not air a campaign video which was made by President Rodrigo Duterte, alleged violations of the now-expired broadcast franchise. Their news reporting was critical to the Duterte administration. The people involved are ABS-CBN management, Gamel Cordoba, Jose Calida, and President Duterte. What are the impacts? ABS-CBN broadcast franchise expired on May 4 and did not renew since 2014. NTC issued a cease and desist order on ABS-CBN, effectively ceasing broadcast operations on May 5. ABS-CBN Corporation filed petitions before the Supreme Court of the Philippines on May 7, seeking to nullify the NTC cease and desist order. But before the 2020 shutdown, ABS-CBN was closed on September 23, 1972, when then President Ferdinand Marcos was declared martial law. The stoppage lasted until July 1986, when the sequestered stations were recovered and the frequencies returned to ABS-CBN. During that 14-year period, ABS-CBN frequencies were used by the Philippine government. Except for DZXL, it became known as DWWW 630, which is called today as DZMM. DZXL TV Channel 4 became a government-owned broadcaster as DWGT or Government Television. And then Channel 2 became Banao Broadcasting Corporation, owned by Roberto Benedicto and Salvador Bauditan. Under martial law, BBC formed a de facto media monopoly with RPN, IBC, and the government-owned Government Television. These are under the National Media Production Center and the Department of Public Information. The company's headquarters, ABS-CBN Broadcasting Center, became known as Broadcast Plaza to be the headquarters of BBC, KBS, RPN, GTV, MBS, and the Bureau of Broadcast, or which is called today as the Philippine Broadcasting Service. Marcos stepped down in February 1986. The revolutionary government took over, later dissolved Banao Broadcasting Corporation, and returned the frequencies to ABS-CBN in July 1986 and resumed broadcast on September 14, 1986. According to Act number 3846, we should only last up to 25 years only. Press freedom. The Philippines is thought to have the freest and liveliest press in Asia, or the free press in Asia. But before martial law, broadcasting in the Philippines was in control of the freedom from government control. With the roles of Ferdinand Marcos, they almost targeted the media. Okay? ABS-CBN is owned by the Lopez family. They also owned cable international channels like the Filipina channel, especially to our kababayan nating OFWs. And they have a Kaidzania in Taguig. According to the Philippine Competition Commission, ABS-CBN Corporation controlled somewhere between 31% and 44% of the Philippines' total television market as of 2020. In summary, shutting down ABS-CBN is bad for the country because TV and radio are essential services, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. ABS-CBN News management said that their news reporting is critical to the Duterte administration, alleged violations to the now expired broadcast franchise, and the ABS-CBN network did not air a campaign video which was paid for by President Rodrigo Duterte. So, how did the government does this? Let's watch a news from Channel News Asia.
Welcome back. The Philippine Solicitor. Welcome back. Welcome back. The Philippine Solicitor General has blamed Congress for the shutdown of the country's largest broadcaster, ABS-CBN. It went off air last night following a directive from the telecom's regulator, and trading on its shares has been halted. Congress has been deliberating on granting the renewal of the network's license. The last time ABS-CBN went off air was nearly 50 years ago while the Philippines was under military rule. Buena Benel tells us more.
ABS-CBN's free-to-air television and radio stations have gone silent. Although it can still operate its cable news channel and digital platforms, millions in the Philippines rely on free-to-air broadcasts outside urban centers due to poor internet access in rural areas. Media rights advocate and educator Danilo Arau says free TV and radio are still the most vital components of any news network.
People rely more on radio, but television is not far behind, given that the reception of many TV stations would be quite far-reaching. ABS-CBN, I should make it clear, is a leading network, so therefore it can be watched nationwide, so it's accessible. And that would partly explain why many people are up in arms regarding the closure of ABS-CBN.
Before the lockdown in Metro Manila due to the COVID-19 pandemic, there were weekly rallies in support of ABS-CBN. The broadcaster has been openly criticized by President Rodrigo Duterte. He has accused it of failing to air some of his 2016 election campaign ads. Protests like this have been held regularly since mid-January, and it's attended by artists, journalists, and the rank and file employees of the network. It's also supported by various other labor and human rights groups. Advocates say the move to shut down ABS-CBN is fundamentally a press freedom issue, as it shows whether or not government leaders are able to protect media players they do not agree with.
If you want to close a news media organization, it would have to be done on its own terms, not as a result of any move by the state. And I think ABS-CBN as a target is very much advantageous to the powers that be, because it gives them also, albeit indirectly, an opportunity to use ABS-CBN as an example of what may happen to other news media organizations if you dare cross the president, most especially considering that 2022 is an election year.
The 25-year license for ABS-CBN's free-to-air television and radio stations nationwide expired on May 4th. Its renewal still being deliberated by Congress. In fact, several bills seeking to renew the broadcaster's franchise have been filed since 2016, but none have been passed so far by Congress, which is dominated by President Duterte's allies. ABS-CBN employs some 11,000 people. With the shutdown, employees like John Villanueva, who's been working at the broadcaster for 24 years, is worried about his future prospects.
Yung sa edad namin na ganito, mahirapan na kami pag dilipat na kami sa ibang kumpanya. At at the same time, alam ko naman yung nangyayari sa industriya ng broadcast. Kasi alam ko naman, puno na rin talaga yung mga ibang istasyon. Kung may mag-hire man sila na mawala ng trabaho sa amin, baka ilan lang yung matanggap nila. Pakiramdam namin, yung mga balita ngayon, walang pag-asa.
However, media observers say it's not the end for ABS-CBN, just as it closed down almost 50 years ago under military rule, but reopened when democracy was restored. Juan Bernal, CNA, Manila.
Okay. So guys, the shutdown of ABS-CBN, ladies and gentlemen, this means press freedom. We want this press freedom into the country. Shutting down ABS-CBN is not good for the country. Why? It's because these are essential services, as I said earlier. As ABS-CBN wants to go back on the air sometime, somewhere. If not, we might move on to other networks like GMA, TV5, or One TV, PTV, IBC, or other local stations. What does this mean for you? As Kapamilya, fan of ABS-CBN, we want Congress to file a new provisional authority of ABS-CBN. We want this TV network to go back on the air as soon as possible. Okay? So, forever Kapamilya. Kapamilya forever. Laban Kapamilya. Because I'm not, okay? We only have 3 minutes to go before we end our broadcast. Okay? And on behalf of Ka-Inclusion Network, HNI Philippines, I would like to have a deepest condolences to the family of okay, wait. On behalf of Ka-Inclusion Network, HNI Philippines, our deepest condolences to the Kaiko and Baltazar families. May their souls rest in peace and enter heaven. Okay. We only have 5:58. Now we have 2 more minutes before I wrap it up. Okay. And here goes now for the One Infusion Live Weekend Edition for Saturday, June 20, 2020. On behalf of all of us at the Ka-Inclusion Network, this is Carlos Kanahashi. Thank you very much for your time and for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow at the same time, 5 to 6 p.m. So, thank you. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Pagpalain po ng buong may kapal. May God bless us all. One inclusion forever. Ka-Inclusion, God first. Thank you. Maraming salamat po. Peace out and have a good night. To God be the glory.